is it? There you are. Hi. I'm feeling a bit guilty. I haven't been on this channel for a really long time. I don't know when the last time I looked was. But I felt an urge to just check it out. I've been doing, I don't know if you're aware of this, I do stand-up comedy, and I have a rugby podcast of all things, and that's what I've been focusing on. But I've also been through some shit, and I very recently, 2 weeks ago, my girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, broke up with me unexpectedly, and it caused me to have a meltdown, which I think does relate to LPR, because what I've realized is, for me, and probably for some of you watching, I really think that LPR, or the symptoms of LPR, are really just the tip of the iceberg. Like, you have all these symptoms, all these feelings, whatever they may be, and as I've talked about in countless videos, and I'm sure you've seen them, these are caused by deep down psychological problems, emotional trauma, unresolved emotional trauma. What I've realized is I dealt with my LPR symptoms, and I've explained how I did that, and I really haven't had to worry about that. I have not had any of those symptoms in years. One of the reasons I stopped making videos here is that, first of all, I've said everything I could possibly say on the subject, or at least I had, and to be honest with you, it was depressing. Like, it's nice when people say that the videos help, but it's depressing to hear how many people are suffering, and also it gets stressful because I have so many people contacting me. So I kind of just, the last 2 years, I was in a relationship, and I was just sort of living my life. No LPR, but what I've realized is I do have other strange, stress-based problems, and I think when I talk about LPR, my own personal LPR, I say, I think I've told you, it's been so long, that I think that, well, when those symptoms started, it was when my father had a stroke and died, and it was really, really stressful, and that's when this cough started and blah, blah, blah. But I've had other issues my whole life, or at least my whole adult life, anxiety, depression, and lately, over the last sort of year, I've been having strange, it almost feels like neuropathy, like strange tingling in my hands and feet, and I've been getting these tension headaches in the back of my head. It's really, really horrible. Affects my vision, everything. And if I were sort of, I keep forgetting where the camera is, you're here. If I were sort of LPR minded, if I was in the same state that I was in when I was suffering from LPR, I'd be Googling those symptoms, and I'd probably already be on various medications, or I'd probably be in a fucking wheelchair, you know, because I'd have convinced myself that I've got motor neuron disease or Parkinson's disease or something. I'm not going that way. But as I mentioned, 3 weeks ago, just coming up on 3 weeks ago, my girlfriend broke up with me out of nowhere. Like, I say I thought everything was fine, but I didn't. Now, here's the thing. This is what I've been doing, and I want to know if anyone with LPR has similar issues. I have a tendency to get in a relationship. In fact, every relationship I've been in with any girl, I go really hard. I get really emotional. I get really into them. And then once I have them, I start pushing them away. I get to a point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to be with them forever. I don't know if this is good enough. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm annoyed. And very often, I'm thinking about my last girlfriend. Okay, this happened. I was married. I was with my ex-wife for 15 years. Sorry, this is a bit jumbled. I will make sense at the end of this. I was with my ex-wife for 15 years. The majority of those years, I didn't really want to be with her, but I didn't have the heart to end it. If she's watching this, that probably sounds horrible. It's not that simple. I did and I didn't, you know, but it was hard, and eventually it fell apart. in a crazy way, she moved out. And this is during like lockdowns, COVID, okay? This is like 4 years ago. Or is it longer? That's about right. She, out of nowhere, just said that she'd signed a lease on an apartment and she was moving out. And in my head, I was like, fuck yes, that is great. And she signed a 1-year lease. And during that whole time that she was at this apartment, I was thinking, I was having the time of my life, right? We were still married, we're still together, and we would still hook up and stuff sometimes. She immediately regretted moving to the apartment, said she wanted to fix things, was crying, apologetic, and I was like, well, hold on, you signed a 1-year lease. Let's see how you're doing at the end of that year. And in my head, I was like, hopefully she'll find someone else in that year and I'll be free. Well, right as the lease was ending, I start noticing that she's suddenly not as interested in me. Okay, she's suddenly not talking to me as much. And when I talk to her, she's a bit dismissive. And I start realizing that something's going on. Like, she's clearly seeing somebody else. There's something going on. I deduced that that's what was going on, and I was proven right. Here's the fucking crazy part. When I found out, I lost my mind. I was devastated. I went insane. I forgave her eventually, and I said I understood why she did it. Anyway, I ended up finding out she was still doing it after she said she would. It doesn't matter. The point is, it took me at least 2 years to get even remotely over it. Okay? As soon as I found out that she was lying to me and sleeping around, which is what she was doing, I lost my mind. I also had sex with everyone in Rio Rancho, which is the city I live in. And I mean everyone. Even, not people related to me. But I was promiscuous. And I ended up dating a girl half my age. And I got super into her. And forget about if it was appropriate or not. Let's just say it was. But it was stupid. And it was absolutely not ever going to work out. We broke up and I was devastated again. So then I started dating a new girl almost immediately after, because here's what I realized. I have not been single ever as an adult, right? I started dating later, I think, than most people. Like, I had my first serious girlfriend when I was like 20. But from that point on, I would date for a while. In my earlier years, I would date them for like a year, find someone else, move on. I would dump them. Never been dumped, never had my heart broken until my ex-wife. Sorry, I'm a bit scattered, but in fact, I can't even remember what I was saying. So anyway, I started dating this girl half my age. It doesn't work out. I immediately start dating a new girl who was in many ways perfect for me. And she's the one that just broke up with me 2 weeks ago. Her reasons that she gave me were that I was pushing her away. She could tell I didn't love her, and I wasn't wanting the things that she wanted, i.e. getting married and taking it really seriously. And there was some other stuff too that's just too personal, but that's the gist of it. And she was right. That is exactly what I was thinking. There were all sorts of issues in my head where I was like, I actually was kind of wanting her to break up with me. Like, I was hoping she would. I was fantasizing about being single. And by the way, the majority of the time that I was with her, I was thinking about my ex. And I was thinking she was the one that got away, right? Now that this girl, my most recent girlfriend, broke up with me, I'm devastated. It has killed me. I don't care about the ex before her anymore. I'm completely obsessed with this one. I'm completely convinced that she was perfect and I let her get away. For the first time in my life, I'm seeing a therapist where I'm actually being honest about everything going on. And what I've realized, and I'm sorry that it took me so long to get here, it probably sounds like I'm just venting and complaining, but like, this is very personal. Don't tell anyone about this, YouTube. But I have realized recently that I have deep-seated, fucked up abandonment issues. Maybe you do too, okay? I had a complicated childhood where my mother moved me and my brother and sister from England, where I'm from, to Maryland in the US. on the East Coast when I was 13. Very complicated situation. I ended up going back to England and living with my dad and my stepfamily. And my mother stayed in the US, never came back. And there's a lot more to it. There was fucked up things like, at one point she was blaming me, saying it was my fault. Yeah, I mean, like crazy shit when I was like a child. And what I have realized and I would never have accepted this before, but now it's so glaringly obvious that I am trying through these relations. I have this obsession, like everything about me right now wants my ex back. And if I can't get her back, I need someone else to fill this hole. And what I'm doing is, it's the feeling of abandonment. It's the, oh, I hate to even say it, but it's like I'm trying to get my mother back. And it's fucking awful. And I'm having physical symptoms because of it. Like, I can't sleep, I can't eat, and I have this horrible tingling all through my body when I get super stressed about it. Like, it's bothering me right now. And I'm just wondering, like, for me personally, I think this was the root cause of it, of my LPR and every other problem I've had. And I think that, like, I've been obsessed my entire adult life with, like, finding the perfect woman, where it's like this deep, deep connection of like unconditional love, like you would have from a parent. And I've been seeking this through it's not fair on them. And it's sort of thwarted me in everything I do, because what I've done is, like, this last 2 years, I've been with this girl who's like really awesome and beautiful. And she was super in love. She would show me all the time how much she loved me, and she would do things for me, and everything could have been great. It's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but all I needed was to have her. You know what I mean? In like I said, I feel like there's a hole in my heart, and I would fill it with a girl, but it was never really enough. And I always felt like there was something that I was missing. And I find it interesting that it's always the last girl who abandoned me. And I suspect that, like I said, the LPR, all of these things, it's just the tip of the iceberg. I think that I'm only just now, years after recovering from LPR, years after making all these videos, years after people calling me and having consultations with me, only now, I'm 44. And I've just had my world destroyed, completely heartbroken right now. But everybody's telling me, not everybody, the couple of people that I talked to about this, and my therapist, that it is the best thing that could happen to me, because I'm finally figuring my shit out. So anyway, this video is really just a way to, first of all, apologize if you've been like back in the day when I was doing this channel and taking it seriously, I would reply to every single person who commented, but I've just not been here, and I've abandoned you, so I'm sorry. Now I've forgotten what I was saying again. And yeah, the hell was I saying? I've got ADHD, which probably is caused by abandonment issues. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about anymore. I can't remember what I was saying, but I guess I just want to end this by saying I'm sorry that I haven't responded to anyone's comments. Hit me up now. I'm going to try and stay on here, because I actually think that this can actually help me now, this making these videos and discussing things like this. I'm much more interested now in talking about deep psychological foundations of physical stresses, physical illness, than just constantly going over the minutiae of LPR. Like, I'm very happy, again, you can find me on social media at Eddie Stevens Massive on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, Eddie Stevens, I think I'm under. What else is there? Those are really the only ones you should bother with. And you can follow me and I'll follow you back. If you have followed me and I haven't followed you back, I just try again. Message me. But yeah, I'd be very interested to know how many people who have been struggling with LPR have a similar background, something that they can actually pinpoint that could be causing all of this pain now. Because we know that people with LPR they usually suffer from anxiety, they suffer from depression, of course, even before the LPR started, right? Anxiety, depression, insecurity, overly apologetic, very sensitive. But yeah, this is that's it. Sorry, I feel very bad for just abandoning this channel. But I'm back in a big fucking way. So I'll be back. Yeah, don't worry.